Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field...
Sir, a second debris field has hit the Titanic rubble. I really hate the ocean. Like, I do. I can't stress to you guys enough how much I hate the idea of, like, diving into the ocean. Like, scuba diving, submarine, no, I'm good. I like going to the beach. I like swimming, like, in the shallow waters. I like going, boats are fine for a little bit, but, like, I don't like being out in open water with no shoreline in sight. I don't like that. The ocean scares me. It is a place that we are evolved to not be in anymore. We have quite literally lost the ability to be in there, and I would like to stay as far away. Not as far away as possible, but you get my point. You know, I don't like being in the deep ocean. Can I DM you the picture of the only recognizable piece of wreckage? Yes, thank you. You can post it here if you want to. But anyway, the reason that we're talking about the ocean is because there are people who love the ocean a lot. So much so that they're now a part of it. They are now interwoven into the fabric of the ocean because they are fish paste. They are particles. There's nothing left of them. They quite literally blew into dust. They were Thanos snapped instantaneously by what looks to be an overgrown acrylic nail, if I had to describe it. Let's take a look at what happened. Sorry, it looks so stupid. It's a real video footage. It's so dumb. But this is like how kind of it happened. They're saying that this fucking hull collapsed in on itself because of the pressure, right? At a speed of, I think, 2,200 feet a second? 2,200 feet per second, if I remember correctly. The interior of it was, like, as hot as the surface of the sun when it happened. Like, there's nothing left of... You don't understand. When I say there is nothing left of these people, they're as gone can be. They are gone. There is nothing left to collect of them. Like, they just snapped out of existence. That's how insane this is. Now, who are these lucky individuals? Well, they're stupid people, and rich, stupid people. You know, billionaires. I think all of them were. The guy who made the craft itself was on there, so at least I guess he believed in his own work. Railroad tank car vacuum implosion. Okay, yeah, no, this will give us a good idea of what this looked like. Thank you. See that one more time. I wasn't even looking. Wow. I love the music. No, it's bad. It's really bad. So they found pieces of the hull. It's not good, okay? I guess the saving grace... Oh, cool. We got a image of... Is that the controller? No shot this is real. Stop. No, come on. That's not real. You're memeing. That's bullshit. Yeah, the controller survived it. Totally. No, what's funny is everyone's talking about, like, the controller. This is the best review for this controller that they'll ever have. It's now worth $1,000. But, like, they use controllers like this all the time, apparently. I don't know how this works. I don't know how these things work. But apparently the controller thing was actually quite standard. The controller was the least concerning part of this. The most concerning part of this, there are several. I'm recalling from memory, so forgive me if I get details wrong. But the guy who built this thing literally had, like, a safety inspector that he had hired, I guess, that he just fired. Because the safety inspector would not sign off on the safety and efficacy of this fucking hull, right? Of this death toenail. So he fired that guy. The government and safety regulatory bodies never signed off on anything to do with this death machine. And he had the people who boarded it sign in 7 places that it is experimental and that you could die. So yeah, it's very bad, very dumb. And what's really sad, just tangentially, I guess, there was a 19-year-old on board. And the 19-year-old did not want to be there. His billionaire mogul dad was there, and he didn't want to disappoint his dad for Father's Day. So this asshat decided to drag his son along to something he didn't even want to be at, to get on reluctantly, and now he's just gone. Can't finish college, can't get married, can't experience the joys of being the son of a billionaire mogul, right? Don't get me wrong, he probably would have turned out to be a piece of shit, but, like, you know, he was a kid. He's 19. I consider that still a kid. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks so bad. Just really stupid all around. Company also had certified dive craft before. They also had another uncertified craft identical to this one that they took out of service because of fatigue after 2 years, and this one that imploded had been operating since 2021. Yeah, yeah. There were 2 researchers aboard. Wow, that really sucks. And the researchers, quite frankly, I'm sorry, are just as stupid as the rest of them. In fact, honestly, a little more stupid, because I feel like if you're a researcher, like, you should know a little bit more about that. That's just me, though. I don't know. Anyway, let's watch a 6-minute video from CBC about how this happened and what went down.
This afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, we got the news everyone was dreading.
In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families.
That's the man heading the multinational task force that has...
They're going into the sub so they could get grant money? I don't know. That's still kind of dumb.
Spent the last 4 days searching round the clock for the 5 people on board the Titan submersible. They've used planes, ships, a submarine, subsea robots, even remote-operated vehicles capable of descending all the way to the ocean floor, to the wreck of the Titanic itself, where the Titan was headed. But after an expensive, exhausting, and hopeful search, it is now believed the Titan was destroyed.
One multinational task force had 1 Canadian dinghy helping. Nice. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They spent like millions of dollars of government money to find these guys, and the company itself is not going to reimburse the government. Like, the government is not forcing them to pay. That's bullshit. They're forcing taxpayers to pay for these dumb motherfuckers' decision, okay? That's such bullshit. I'm trying to swear less, but that's, yeah. I'm not doing a great job.
Essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
According to the U.S. Coast Guard, an ROV, a remote-operated vehicle, was able to scour the ocean floor near the Titanic wreckage. A few hundred meters away, they found this.
The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull.
That was clue number 1. Soon after, they found a large debris field where they found other components. They analyzed what they looked like, compared them to the design specs of the Titan submersible, and it seemed like a match.
Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field...
Sir, a second debris field has hit the Titanic rubble.
We found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel.
It was all consistent with the components used to build the Titan, but they also think the debris tells them something about how the Titan went down. Not a slow, steady leak, but rather a violent, sudden change in pressure.
This is an incredibly unforgiving environment down there on the seafloor, and the debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
A catastrophic implosion is what can happen when you are subjected to the incredible pressure of being so deep underwater. You know, the Titan wreckage is about 13,000 feet below sea level. When you're that far down, the forces acting on the hull of the ship, many thousands of pounds per square inch.
Christ.
You know, I've heard it compared to having the equivalent of an Empire State Building crushing you from all sides.
So imagine, like, the pressure hull is built to withstand that pressure, obviously, right? So that you're not affected by it. It's just holding it up like that. If that fails, you have the weight of the Empire State Building falling on you in an instant. An instant, not even falling on you, just like it's just there. Just poof, gone. Gone.
Taken
reduced to atoms.
Styrofoam coffee cup, and that's then strapped to the outside of the submersible.
Magic disappearing act.
And when we eventually come up topside and recovered, the actual same coffee cup is basically a that size.
Jesus.
The big question right now is how such a catastrophic implosion could have happened.
Great question.
It was an experimental sub. That was literally written on the death waiver passengers have to sign to be allowed on board.
I met an experimental sub the other day. Let me tell you something. Woo! We had a good time. Anyway.
And a lot has been said about the cavalier attitude that the company's CEO had when it came to safety, innovation, and pushing the envelope with, new materials never before used in a sub of this kind. But we also learned something from this afternoon's news conference that tells us about the timing of the implosion. You'll recall the Titan lost contact with its mothership on the surface partway through its descent. This was on Sunday morning. They should have returned by the afternoon, but didn't. And it was only that evening the Coast Guard was alerted. Then it was roughly another day until a Canadian plane would arrive, dropping sonar buoys into...
Well, there's your problem. You trusted the Canadians to find them.
You can think of those like underwater microphones. It gave search teams listening capability. So here's the thing. There's this period between Sunday and Monday where nobody had any clue what was going on down there. And the suggestion seems to be, from the Coast Guard, that's when the implosion likely happened.
This was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel, which would have generated a significant broadband sound down there that the sonar buoys would have picked up.
They would have heard the implosion if it had happened while their sonar buoys were deployed, but they heard...
Ever see that video where they stick a styrofoam head into the deep sea and it came back the size of a baseball? No, link that. That would be very informative if you have that.
I mention this because it tells us something about what the crew's final moments might have been like. You see, the great fear here...
Final moments? Pff, more like final millisecond.
...was that death would have been slow and unbearable. Imagine, you're trapped all alone in a 22-foot hump of carbon fiber.
They had each other.
It's cold because sunlight can't penetrate the water. There's limited food, limited water to drink, only a single porthole that you can't even look through without powering the ship's lights because it's pitch black on the other side, and you're running out of oxygen. Perhaps a silver lining in all of this is that in the case of a violent implosion, death would have been instantaneous.
Oh, yeah.
On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them, and I hope that this discovery provides some solace during this difficult time.
On board the Titan, Hamish Harding, a British billionaire explorer, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a renowned French diver, Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman, two members of one of Pakistan's wealthiest families, and Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate Expeditions, the company behind this doomed voyage, finding its final resting place not far from where the Titanic itself sank more than 100 years ago.
The man went down with the ship. Gotta give him that. So yeah, they were all like rich fucks. The 19-year-old notwithstanding. I mean, he was still kind of a rich fuck, but I feel bad for all of them, quite frankly. It was a really dumb thing to do. I do feel bad for them, kind of, but not that bad, if I'm being honest. Like, I really can't. This was an entirely avoidable situation. And also, this just doesn't happen to billionaires, Like, they don't understand what it means to face the consequences of your actions. And now they found out. They fucked around and they found out. They were like, that can't possibly happen to us. We've been wrapped in styrofoam and bubble wrap our entire lives, and nothing can touch us. And so they fucked around and they found out. That's how that works, man. CEO bragged that he loved open sea law so he could bypass safety measures. Yeah, I was actually supposed to be looking for that in the CBC thing, and there's shockingly little mention on any news broadcast. Actually, what's this? Fundamental flaw in design of Titan submersible. That's 10 minutes. Maybe some news things are talking about it, but I have not seen very much discussion, at least from news sources, about how flawed this thing was and like how irresponsible the person who built this sub was. Like, he's a piece of shit, straight up. He knew exactly... I mean, I guess he couldn't know exactly the danger of what he was doing, but he just ignored it, I guess. I don't know. He was on it, so clearly he thought it was safe, but it clearly was not. Do you think ghosts on the Titanic will let them hang out on the deck with them? Hopefully. He was told by experts to please don't do it. Oh yeah, no, he was told by experts, like, don't do it. I think, you know what it is? They have this main character complex, right? So they watch anime, right? I guarantee you, I know the exact anime he was watching too. He was watching My Hero Academia, specifically the episode where they tell Izuku Midoriya like that he can't do 100% one for all anymore, and then he does it anyway, and like he breaks his arms and whatever, but he's actually fine, and it was really cool to do because he beat the villain, right? You're not a main character. Do you understand that? You're not a main character. None of you are. None of you. Don't think for 1 second that doing something stupid against the advice of experts in the field is going to go well for you. It's not. Don't go by anime logic. We live in the real goddamn world. You will die, as demonstrated here, okay? You're not invincible. There was one thing that was really funny that I wanted to pull up. Yeah, this was hilarious. Did you guys see this?
What is it with these billionaires in these fucking tubes? Huh? We got a fucking billionaire or other rich people in a tube, a sealed tube. Look, because they want to see the Titanic? You can just fucking rent it on VHS. It's a 2-cassette VHS tape, my dude. These fucking billionaires got in a fucking tube to go look. They paid $250,000 each. $250,000. Some of you don't understand the concept of that amount of money. That is an okay house in Ohio. That's how much they just paid. They handed a guy, and they got inside of a fucking tube. I cannot stress to you how they're like, it's a submarine. It's a submersible. It's a fucking tube. It's a sealed tube. It's riveted shut. You cannot open it from the inside. It has no windows. There is one button and there's a screen. You're not even looking at the Titanic with your own eyes. You're looking at a screen that has the camera pointed at the Titanic. And
that's the kicker, right? Is that they weren't even actually looking at the Titanic with their own eyes. That's the kicker. I can't fathom how stupid you have to be to think that that's like a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're a researcher, okay, send a fucking send a drone down there. You know, send a robot so that if something bad happens, it happens to the robot, an object, a thing that we can replace. You know, not like a human.
And the guy running the company is so fucking dumb that he didn't even think to just fake going to the Titanic. You want to get $250,000? $250,000 from a billionaire. First thing, have a tube. Remember Elon? Remember Elon and his submarine idea to get those kids out of the cave in Thailand? You know, when he called the guy a pedo? That whole fucking thing? Elon's smart idea, by the way.
It said youth pastor on the text. That was funny.
Wait, tube.
Never caught that.
Jeff Bezos? We're gonna go to space. He built a tube. It's all tubes with these people. Every billionaire is obsessed with tubes. So if you want to rip off a billionaire, here's what you do. Hey man, we're gonna go to the Titanic. Oh, that's great. Hop in my tube. Ah, no, there's no windows, but you can watch the TV screen. Lower it down, like just under the water. And make sure it jiggles. Oh, run into some undersea turbulence. Turn the fucking screen on. Play the beginning of fucking Titanic. Pull it back up. And go, there you go. There you go, billionaire. You saw the fucking Titanic.
Real though.
And here's the thing about billionaires. Nobody fucking tells them no. Everybody says they're so fucking smart because billionaires just fucking drop money around them all day. The only time they care about the money when they're dropping fucking everywhere like idiots is when it goes to taxes to help us. So now they spend $250,000 fucking dollars to get into a fucking tube, and now we have to spend millions of dollars on our fucking navies of 2 nations to look for these goddamn idiots who just should have watched a VHS tape that was okay from a movie that is so old that fucking Leonardo DiCaprio wouldn't date it.
This guy's amazing. He earned a follow from me. I don't ever get on TikTok, but I just gave him a follow because he deserved it. Real though, real. I just built a tube. Oh, hey, billionaire. Hey, listen, you like volcanoes? You want to go inside of a volcano? I built a tube. I built a tube that will take us inside of a volcano. Here's how we're going to work. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go to Yellowstone National Park, right? And we're going to get into a mysterious volcano. But you have to get on my tube, which I built here on these rails. And the rails will take us through the volcano. And all you have to do, like, is like make it move like in a circle, you know, you like just drive it around in a big circle that they can't see because like, you know, you like make it so that like you start it off like at an entrance point and then drive it outside and it just goes around a circle. And you like make it super hot, you know, like, whoo, it's hot in here. And it's just like you have the AC off and bad, you know, bad insulation or whatever. And you make it hot and then you just have a video feed of like, oh, here we go. We're going to the volcano. And it can literally just be like surrounded by lava, you know, like it can just be like lava on the screen playing down. And then they come back and it's like, woo, we made it through the Yellowstone volcano. Whoa, boy, was that a trip. That'll be $1 million. That's that simple. I think they'd go for it. That'll be $1 million, please. Make them sign an NDA about it too so that if they find out, they can't tell anyone. That's a great idea. Clearly, they don't read this shit. So, you know what? Great idea. One other thing I wanted to touch on real quick is the takes that I've been seeing from a lot of people. Because there's a lot of contention, I guess. Here, let me see if I can pull one up. About like whether it's quote-unquote okay to joke about this. First of all, yes, it's okay to joke about it. I think it's kind of funny. It's funny. It's ironic. It's a dumb situation. I'm sorry. Like, the loss of life is not funny, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. This did not need to happen. These people are idiots. This is the tweet I saw. The cheering on undeserved suffering because of some quality of the victims your specific worldview disapproves of has got to be my least favorite genre of tweets. Yeah, so they list several examples and then, you know... by the way, this was a refugee thing, I think. Like, they just drowned. 500 of them at about the same time, and nobody cares. So that's cool. But basically, there's this fight going on about whether or not it's okay to joke about it or, you know, cheer it on. I have a couple things to say about that. One, it's a tragedy. I think we can all agree that the loss of life is generally not a good thing. I don't know these people, but even if they were rich, I don't like the thought that they were just poofed out of existence. I really don't. I don't, okay? The billionaire toothpaste is kind of funny, though. The billionaire toothpaste is kind of funny, all right? They were just Thanos snapped out of existence and are now woven into the fabric of the ocean. I'm sorry. It's just, that doesn't happen to billionaires. That just doesn't happen to them, you know? So if there are people who can't afford even their monthly rent or to put food in their freaking children's mouths, right? I can empathize with them finding this a little ironic, a little funny, right? Get some joy out of it. Whatever. Do you do you. What I don't like, and I have seen people do this, crazy people, leftist crazy Twitter leftist people, but people nonetheless, so they say, saying that this is some kind of W for progressives. That's really stupid. That's really stupid. First of all, no amount of billionaires dying is ever going to be a win for progressives because it's not people that matter in this situation necessarily. Like, killing Jeff Bezos won't do anything because if you kill Jeff Bezos, which you shouldn't, I don't want people to do that. If you were to kill Jeff Bezos, somebody steps up and takes his place. You're not getting any of that money. None of that goes to you, okay? The entire system is the problem, not the people that run it. It's the system itself, okay? So until you dismantle that system, nothing changes. The billionaires who died, all of their money is going to their goddamn families, okay? It's not going to you. It's barely, like, I think there's like a death tax that they get, and it's barely anything. It's really not that much, okay? So, no, this is not a W for progressives. This is not praxis, right? It's not praxis. It's not a good thing that happened. It's not a good thing that happened. Can we all acknowledge that this is not a good thing, okay? It's not. And if you think that it is, that's pretty screwed up, okay? And people are gonna look at you like you're a psycho, as they should. Okay, people died. That sucks. These people didn't do anything to deserve death, all right? That being said, it was very stupid, and this is kind of an ironic and funny situation, and it's fine to joke about it, because, you know, I don't know, they're quite literally sleeping with the fishes, right? If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. You can join my channel membership at youtube.com/AlecGunther/TTV/join for only 99 cents a month. That's less than the price of a blowjob from your mom. You can be part of the channel membership program, and you will get early access content, as well as a sweet badge next to your name and exclusive emojis in the comments that nobody else gets. Thank you again, and I will see you all in the next video.